Okay, we are going to find the solution to a system by graphing two lines on a graph and finding where the two lines cross, and that is our solution, if you remember that from your vocab card. So solving systems by graphing is just one way to figure out that solution point. So here's the problem. It says find the solution to the system. You have two equations. We have y equals 1/2 x plus 2, and we have y equals 3x minus 3. So step 1 says make sure each equation is written in y equals mx plus b form. If not, rewrite it or use a different method. And we'll learn different methods later. That will be easier than rewriting it. So when we look at both of these equations, y equals 1/2 x plus 2, that's in the right form. And then y equals 3x minus 3, that's also in the right form. Step 2 says graph each equation using slope and y-intercept, which you already know how to do from chapter 4. So I'm going to take the first equation, y equals 1/2 x plus 2. I'm going to identify the slope, which is the number in front of x, so 1/2. And my y-intercept is positive 2, and I'm going to graph that. So I'll start at my y-intercept of positive 2 up on the y-axis, and my slope is 1/2. Rise 1, run 2. Rise 1, run 2. And you're going to want to keep going for the entire graph, as many points as you can put on there, because we're going to need to find where two lines cross, and if you don't put the points exactly where they need to be, chances are you might not find the exact spot where they cross. So once you have those points put on there, draw your line. Okay, then you need to graph the other equation. So in the other equation, the slope is 3, which remember is really 3/1. And the y-intercept is negative 3. So on the same graph, you're going to graph another line. So on the y-axis, plot the y-intercept down to negative 3, and my slope is rise 3, run 1. Rise 3, run 1. Rise 3, run 1. I'm going to go backwards. Then I'm going to draw my line. Step 3 then says find the point of intersection and list it as an ordered pair. So right here where these two lines cross, that is the point of intersection. So the ordered pair of this point is 2, 3. This is called the solution to the linear system. So we found our solution. Now what that solution means is that when I plug in 2 for x, I should get a 3 for y in my equation, in both equations, because it's a linear system. It should work for both of those. So that's what step 4 is. Step 4 says evaluate the solution into each equation to make sure it's the correct solution. So you had 2, 3 written down, and that means x was 2 and the y coordinate was 3. So I'm going to take each equation and I'm going to rewrite it. Y equals 1/2 x plus 2, and I'm going to plug in 2 for x and 3 for y. So I'm going to say 1/2, and I'm plugging in 2 right here, plus 2 equaled, and for y, it says plug in 3. So now what I need to do is I need to see if this right-hand side equals what the left tells me, 3. So I'm going to evaluate this. 1/2 times 2 is 1. Bring down the other plus 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. Is that what I have on the other side? Yep. So it's the solution for the first equation, meaning we got it accurate for the first equation. Then I'm going to go check the next equation, which was y equals 3x minus 3. I'm going to plug in the same thing here. A 2 for x and a 3 for y. So I'm going to put a 3 here, a 2 for my x. So I have 3 equals 3 times 2 minus 3. Then I'm going to evaluate the equation. I'm going to see if this right-hand side equals the same thing on the left. So 3 times 2 is 6, minus 3, bring down. 6 minus 3 is 3. And on the left-hand side, I also have a 3. So since the ordered pair 2, 3 worked in both equations, that means not only did I graph it right, but I also got the right solution point. Go ahead, put this in your notebook on the next page, and the title is Solving Systems by Graphing. And then bring your notebook to the guest teacher so that they can check it, and you can move on to the next step.